here I have a lot of taller fantasy books, Written in Red and Murder of Crows, the first two books in the Others series by Anne Bishop, which I love this series. The Thousand Names by Django Wexler, The Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johansson, Daughter of Smoke and Bone, Days of Blood and Starlight, and Dreams of Gods and Monsters, all by Laini Taylor, The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon, Steel Heart by Brandon Sanderson, The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black, The Coldest Girl in Cold Town by Holly Black, The Diviners by Libba Bray, These Broken Stars, and This Shattered World by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. This shelf is mostly adult fantasy. Heart's Blood by Juliette Marillier, The Emperor's Blades, and The Providence of Fire by Brian Stavely, Theft of Swords, and Rise of Empire, the first two books in the Rhaeria Revelations by Michael J. Sullivan, The Crown Tower, and The Rose and the Thorn, the first two books in the Rhaeria Chronicles, also by Michael J. Sullivan. Then I have this chip mug, The Once and Future King by T.H. White, and then the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson, The Final Empire, The Well of Ascension, and The Hero of Ages. And then I have The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson, and The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. This is my sci-fi shelf. It has the majority of my sci-fi books with a few exceptions. And then it also has my Captain America Funko Pops and this Captain America tin, which has some Captain America playing cards in it. The Trader Baru Cormorant by Seth Dickinson. Lockstep by Carl Schroeder. Our Lady of the Ice by Cassandra Rose Clark. Star Wars Dark Disciple by Christy Golden. The Book of Strange New Things by Michelle Faber. Red Shirts by John Scalzi. Fortune's Pawn by Rachel Bach. Red Rising by Pierce Brown. The Unquiet by Michaela Everett. Avalon and Polaris by Mindy Arnett. The Fifth Wave and The Infinite Sea by Rick Yancey. Across the Universe and Shades of Earth by Beth Revis. I don't have the second book in this trilogy yet. Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Then another copy of The Fifth Wave. Over here, I kind of have like steampunky books, and then going over here, it's like fantasy series. Flights and Chimes in Mysterious Times by Emma Trevane. The Iron Duke, Heart of Steel, and Riveted by Mel Jean Brooke. Falling Sky by Rajan Kahana. Bone Shaker by Cherry Priest. Camelot Burning by Catherine Rose. Endurance by Jay Lake. Storm Dancer and Kinslayer by Jay Kristoff. Sabriel and Lyriel by Garth Nix. The Hobbit, The Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, and The Return of the King, all by J.R.R. Tolkien. The Demon King, The Exiled Queen, The Grey Wolf Throne, and The Crimson Crown, all by Cinda Williams Chima, which make up the Seven Realms series. And then Horns by Joe Hill. This shelf is most of my graphic novels. Starting over here, I have The Graveyard Book, Volume 1 and Volume 2 by Neil Gaiman. Then I have the Amulet graphic novel series, which is my absolute favorite. So we have Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, Volume 5, and Volume 6. And these are all by Kazuo Kibushi. And then I have the Doctor Who 12 Doctors, 12 Stories. And then next to that I have a TARDIS mug, which I love. It's so cute. Blankets by Craig Thomas. Doctor Who Character Encyclopedia, The Wonder Book, The Illustrated Guide to Creating Imaginative Fiction. And then I have this Gryffindor notebook, The Fangirl's Guide to the Galaxy, Second Thought, Legend, the graphic novel by Marie Lu, The Ice Dragon by George R.R. Martin, A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, Anya's Ghost by Vera Broskull, Through the Woods by Emily Carroll, Nimona by Noelle Stevenson, Boxers and Saints by Jean Luen Yang, Animal Kingdom coloring book, and The Enchanted Forest coloring book. And then this shelf is all of my trade paperbacks and then single issues, which I'm not going to go through each of these because that will take forever because I have a lot. But if you guys want a video of me just like showing you guys all of the comics that I have, I will gladly do that. Just let me know if that's something that you're interested in. But yeah, these are my comics. Here they are. This shelf is gonna be the most difficult to show you guys. This is the highest up I can get my camera to go because this shelf is just ridiculously high up there and I am ridiculously short. Like, that's as high as I can reach. Maybe I need a ladder. So this is just like random fantasy books. And then these little bottles were like Halloween decorations and I kind of just left them up here. So first we have all of my Cassandra Clare books, starting with the Mortal Instruments series, City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, City of Fallen Angels, City of Lost Souls, and then City of Heavenly Fire. And then I have the Infernal Devices trilogy, Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, and Clockwork Princess. And then I have one of my favorite YA dystopian trilogies, Under the Never Sky, Through the Evernight, and Into the Still Blue by Veronica Rossi. And then Poison Study, which is one of my favorite books ever, Magic Study, and Fire Study. And I really need to continue this trilogy because now there are going to be 3 more books. I think 2 of them have already come out, so I really need to continue this. Then we have my favorite book of last year, The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, The Dream Thieves, and Blue Lily Lily Blue. And I cannot wait for the 4th book to come out. I am so hyped for that. And then The Book of Ivy and The Revolution of Ivy by Amy Engel. This is an amazing dystopian duology. Really love this. Graceling by Kristen Cashore, and Air Awakens by Elise Kova. So starting over here, I have The Tales of Beetle the Bard, Quidditch Through the Ages, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. And then I have the UK signature editions of the books, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban, Goblet of Fire, which this one is my favorite cover, Order of the Phoenix, Half-Blood Prince, and Deathly Hallows. And then I'm not gonna go through these because you guys know what they look like. These are just the regular US hardcovers. On the end there is the new illustrated Sorcerer of Stone. And then over here I have this Golden Snitch, and so many people ask me where I got this, and I'm like 99% sure I got this at Barnes & Noble in like one of those little like boxed kits they have in the checkout aisle. This shelf kind of houses some of my favorite YA series. Here I have just this little R2-D2, and then over there I have Michonne from The Walking Dead, The Winter's Curse by Marie Rutkowski, Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, The Kiss of Deception and The Heart of Betrayal by Mary E. Pearson, and then a paperback copy of The Kiss of Deception. And the reason why I have 2 is because this one is signed as well as The Heart of Betrayal is signed. A very nice subscriber of mine got these signed for me, so that was very sweet. Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, and Ruin and Rising, all by Leigh Bardugo. And then I have all of my Morgan Rhodes books, The Book of Spirits and Thieves, Falling Kingdoms, Rebel Spring, Gathering Darkness, and Frozen Tides, all by Morgan Rhodes, and those are the first 4 books in the Falling Kingdoms series. And then I have the Lunar Chronicles minus Fairest, Cinder, Scarlet, Cress, and Winter, all by Marissa Meyer. This is one of my mass market paperback shelves. This entire shelf basically is urban fantasy. So right here, I have the Parasol Protectorate series by Gail Carriger, Soulless, Changeless, Blameless, Heartless, and Timeless. And next to that, I have the Fever series by Karen Marie Monning, Dark Fever, Blood Fever, Fae Fever, Dream Fever, Shadow Fever, and then Iced. And then next to that, I have the Shifter series by Rachel Vincent, Stray, Rogue, Pride, and Prey. And then next to that, I have the Patricia Briggs books, Crywolf and Hunting Ground. And then I have the Mercy Thompson series, the first book being Moon Called, Bloodbound, Iron Kissed, Bone Crossed, and Silverborn. Bitten by Kelly Armstrong, A Hunger Like No Other, and No Rest for the Wicked by Cressley Cole, Cold Magic by Kate Elliott. This shelf is kind of like the rest of my mass market paperbacks and some other shorter books. Suspicion by Alexandra Monier, The Elfstones of Shannara and The Wish Song of Shannara by Terry Brooks, The Girl in 6E by A.R. Torrey, Killing Sarai and Reviving Isabel by J.A. Redmersky, Nightshade by Michelle Rowan, Daughter of the Forest by Juliette Marillier, Prince of Thorns by Mark Lawrence, Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton, Stormfront and Furies of Calderon by Jim Butcher, The School for Good and Evil, Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb, The Assassin's Curse, and The Pirate's Wish by Cassandra Rose Clark. And then I have the Song of Ice and Fire series, and in front of that I have a Daenerys Funko Pop, A Game of Thrones, A Clash of Kings, A Storm of Swords, A Feast for Crows, and A Dance with Dragons, all by George R.R. Martin, The Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch, The Long Walk by Stephen King. The False Prince by Jennifer A. Nielsen, which I just recently read and loved so much. The Novice by Taryn Matharu, Da Vinci's Tiger by L.M. Eliot, The Burning Sky by Sherry Thomas, Uprooted by Naomi Novak, Trial by Fire by Josephine Angelini, The Wrath in the Dawn by Renee Adie, Alias Hook by Lisa Jensen, A Darker Shade of Magic, and Vicious by V.E. Schwab, A Thousand Pieces of You by Claudia Gray, Magic Bites by Leona Andrews, The Iron King, The Iron Daughter, and The Iron Queen by Julie Kagawa, The Girl of Fire and Thorns, Crown of Embers, and The Bitter Kingdom by Ray Carson, Princess of Thorns by Stacey J, Scarlet by A.C. Graugen, Grave Mercy by Robin Lefevers, Finnegan of the Rock by Melina Marchetta, The Magicians by Lev Grossman, Half a King by Joe Abercrombie, Talon by Julie Kagawa, the 10th anniversary edition of Twilight with the Twilight reimagined, Obsidian, Onyx, Opal, Origin, and Opposition by Jennifer L. Armentrout, The 100 Homecoming, The 100 Day 21 by Cass Morgan, Alienated and Invaded by Melissa Landers, Soundless by Rochelle Mead, Bloodlines, Vampire Academy, Frostbite, Shadow Kiss, Blood Promise, Spirit Bound, and Last Sacrifice, all by Rochelle Mead. The Walking Dead, Rise of the Governor, The Walking Dead, Road to Woodbury, The Walking Dead, Fall of the Governor, Part 1, The Walking Dead, Fall of the Governor, Part 2, all by Robert Kirkman. Witches of East End by Melissa De La Cruz. Anna and the French Kiss, Lola and the Boy Next Door, Isla and the Happily Ever After, all by Stephanie Perkins. Then we have all of my Rainbow Rowell books, Landline, Fangirl, the collector's edition of Fangirl, Eleanor and Park, the collector's edition of Eleanor and Park, Carry On, which is the only one that I haven't read yet, Attachments, My True Love Gave to Me, 12 Holiday Stories, Open Road Summer by Emery Lord, To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han, Nowhere But Here by Katie McGarry, Finding Aubrey by Sophie Kinsella, Why We Broke Up by Daniel Handler, Dumplin' by Julie Murphy. The stack on the left is all of my Colleen Hoover books. Starting off all of my Colleen Hoover books, we have Ugly Love, Slammed, Point of Retreat, This Girl, Hopeless, and then the companion novel, Losing Hope. My favorite of Colleen Hoover books, Maybe Someday, and then one of my least favorite Colleen Hoover books, Confess. and November 9, which I also really did not like, Clipped Wings, and Inked Armor by Helena Hunting, Amor by Krista and Becca Ritchie, The Deal by Elle Kennedy, Here With Me by Heidi McLaughlin, After the Rain, and Sweet Thing by Renee Carlino, Bad Romeo, and Broken Juliet by Lisa Raven, 10 Tiny Breaths, One Tiny Lie, and 4 Seconds to Lose, all by K.A. Tucker, On Dublin Street, and Hero, both by Samantha Young. I love both of these. On the Island by Tracy Garvis Graves, Finding It by Cora Carmack, Wait for You by Jennifer L. Armentrout, All Lined Up, also by Cora Carmack, The Coincidence of Callie and Caden by Jessica Sorensen. The Rosie Project by Grammy Simsian, P.S. I Love You, and Love Rosie by Cecilia Ahearn, Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro, Austinland by Shannon Hale, Confessions of a Shopaholic by Sophie Kinsella, Love and Misadventure, and Lullabies by Lang Leave, One Day by David Nichols, Water for Elephants by Sarah Graun, The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, Scoring Wilder by R.S. Gray, Crash and Crush by Nicole Williams, Take a Chance by Abby Glines, Easy by Tamara Weber, Disarm by June Gray, Beautiful Disaster by Jamie McGuire, The Edge of Never by J.A. Redmersky, The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll, Burial Rites by Hannah Kent, The Shock of the Fall by Nathan Filer, Me Before You by Jojo Moyes, 800 Grapes by Laura Dave. Yes Please by Amy Poehler, Lexicon by Max Berry, The Cuckoo's Calling by Robert Galbraith, All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr, Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie, Furiously Happy by Jenny Lawson, Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ning, Room by Emma Donahue, Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger, Bad Feminist by Roxane Gay, Why Not Me by Mindy Kaling, The Storied Life of A.J. Fickery by Gabrielle Zevin, A Thousand Splendid Suns, and The Kite Runner by Kaheld Hosseini, The Book of Lost Things by John Connolly. The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins, Dead House by Dawn Kurtiguich, Slasher Girls and Monster Boys by a ton of people, Trigger Warning by Neil Gaiman, You by Caroline Kepnes, which is one of my favorite books ever, The Merciless by Danielle Vega, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs, The Enchanted by Renee Denfeld, The Accident Season by Moira Fowley Doyle, A Madness So Discreet by Mindy McGinnis, The Masked Truth by Kelly Armstrong, Omens by Kelly Armstrong, Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk, In the Woods by Tana French, Night Film by Marisha Pessel, Asylum by Madeline Rokes, The Ocean at the End of the Lane, The Graveyard Book, another copy of The Graveyard Book, Fortunately the Milk, and Coraline, all by Neil Gaiman. Bird Box by Josh Mallerman, The Dinner by Herman Koch, Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. And then down here I have my ARC shelf and some books that are sent for review. Right here I have this Game of Thrones book that's about the TV show that I just stick here because I don't really know where else to put it. And then here's some of my ARCs. I'm not gonna go through each one. This shelf is kind of my dystopian trilogies, I don't really know, shelf. First I have the Shatter Me trilogy, which consists of Unite Me, Shatter Me, Unravel Me, and Ignite Me, all by Tahara Mafi. Then I have the Unbecoming of Mara Dyer trilogy, which consists of The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer, The Evolution of Mara Dyer, and The Retribution of Mara Dyer, all by Michelle Hodkin. Then I have the Selection series, which consists of The Selection Stories, The Selection, The Elite, The One, and The Air, all by Kiera Cass. Then I have the first two books in the Immortal Rules series by Julie Kagawa, Dystopia, The Immortal Rules, and The Eternity Cure. I have the Of Poseidon trilogy by Anne Banks, and that consists of Poseidon, of Triton, and of Neptune. I have the Darkest Minds trilogy by Alexandra Bracken, and that consists of The Darkest Minds, Never Fade, and In the Afterlight. The Demigod Files, The Lightning Thief, The Sea of Monsters, The Titan's Curse, The Battle of the Labyrinth, and The Last Olympian. And then I have the first book in the Heroes of Olympus series, The Lost Hero, also by Rick Riordan. White Hot Kiss and Stone Cold Touch by Jennifer L. Armentrout, Lois Lane Fallout by Gwendolyn Bond, Incarnate and Asunder by Jodi Meadows, Hemlock and Thornhill by Catherine Peacock, Wake, Lullaby, and Title, all by Amanda Hawking, The Falconer by Elizabeth May, Deception's Princess by Esther Frisner, Not After Everything by Michelle Levy, The Sin Eater's Daughter by Melinda Salisbury, Midnight Thief by Livia Blackburn, The Last Princess by Galaxy Craze, Death Sworn by Lee Sipis, A Wicked Thing by Rhiannon Thomas, Perfect Ruin by Lauren DeStefano, Daughter of Deep Silence by Carrie Ryan, Born Wicked by Jessica Spotswood, The Scorpio Races by Maggie Stiefvater, Sea of Shadows by Kelly Armstrong, Cruel Beauty by Rosamund Hodge, The Ring and the Crown by Melissa De La Cruz, Double Bell by Rachel Hawkins, Exquisite Captive by Heather Demetrios, Winter Spell by Claire Legren, Frozen by Melissa De La Cruz and Michael Johnston, Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard, Starry Night by Isabel Giles. Don't Look Back by Jennifer L. Armentrout, Since You've Been Gone, Amy and Roger's Epic Detour, and Second Chance Summer, all by Morgan Matson, My Life Next Door by Huntley Fitzpatrick, Winger by Andrew Smith, Biggest Flirts by Jennifer Eccles, Ignite by Lily Paradis, Panic by Lauren Oliver, Forbidden by Tabitha Suzuma, Trouble by Non Pratt, The Probability of Miracles by Wendy Wonder, We Were Liars by E. Lockhart, Love Letters to the Dead by Ava Delaria, Broken Hearts, Fences, and Other Things to Mend by Katie Finn, Black Ice by Becca Fitzpatrick, Better Off Friends by Elizabeth Yulberg, Meant to Be by Lauren Murill, More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera, The Duff by Cody Keplinger, The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight by Jennifer E. Smith. The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky, Stolen by Lucy Christopher, Living Dead Girl by Elizabeth Scott, It's Kind of a Funny Story by Ned Vizzini, Dash and Lily's Book of Dares by Rachel Cohen and David Levithan, 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher, which I don't have the dust jacket for, but it's one of my favorite books. Memoirs of a Teenage Amnesiac by Gabrielle Zevin, Take Back the Skies by Lucy Saxon, The Taking by Kimberly Durding, Plus One by Elizabeth Fama, Deep Blue by Jennifer Donnelly, Fire and Flood by Victoria Scott, Landry Park by Bethany Hagen, Dangerous by Shannon Hale, Hush Hush by Becca Fitzpatrick, Nil by Lane Matson, Delirium by Lauren Oliver, Warm Bodies by Isaac Marion, The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness, Proxy by Alex London, Poison Princess by Cresley Cole. The Jewel by Amy Ewing, Unspoken by Sarah Reese Brennan, Minders by Michelle Jaff, Everneath by Brody Ashton, Embrace by Jessica Shervington, Grasshopper Jungle by Andrew Smith, Unbound by Victoria Schwab, Tiger's Curse by Colleen Hoover, Princess in the Opal Mask by Jenny Ludequist, Anna Dressed in Blood and The Girl of Nightmares by Kendar Blake, Countdown by Michelle Rowan, Reboot by Amy Tintera, Black City by Elizabeth Richards, Every Day by David Levithan, The Program by Suzanne Young, Slated by Terry Terry, Defy by Sarah B. Larson, Tiger Lily by Jody Lynn Anderson, The Madman's Daughter by Megan Shepard. And then on the top of my bookshelf, Pride and Prejudice, Emma Another copy of Pride and Prejudice, The Bronze Horseman and Tatiana and Alexander by Paulina Simons, The Book Thief, The American Heiress, the entire Shades of Milk and Honey series, and The River of No Return by B. Ridgway. Right here I have the Sweet Trilogy by Wendy Higgins. Under that I have the Hex Hall Trilogy by Rachel Hawkins, and then the Legend Trilogy by Marie Lu. Then I have the Hunger Games Trilogy by Suzanne Collins. Then the Penryn and the End of Days Trilogy by Susan E. Then the first 2 books in the Young Elites, whatever it is, by Marie Lu. And then Defiance and Deception by CJ Redwine. Then right here I have this little trunk that has all the Harry Potter movies in it. Then the Harry Potter pop-up book, the film Wizardry, a collector's edition of the Tales of Beedle the Bard, and Harry Potter Page to Screen. And then next to it I just have this little book thing about Rey from Star Wars The Force Awakens.